Hey everyone, I hope you're having a really good day. Grab a snack with me for a sec and let's chat. I'm having some ice cream. I personally really like the chocolate and peanut butter, but I ran out, so Oreo it is. Today I'm just briefly hopping on to answer a question that I received from my Instagram. So the question I received after posting this post, this post, it's talking about how people get stuck in pseudo recovery. And someone was asking me, in the last post you mentioned pseudo recovery, and I was wondering what you meant by that. And I thought this would be a great topic for a video because I think it's something that people need to hear. And it's something that I often talk about with clients. Pseudo recovery to me means being in recovery, 1 foot in recovery, 1 foot out of recovery. It means not getting to that place where you have full freedom from your eating disorder and you're still kind of stuck. You're still kind of distrusting of your body and distrusting of food. Let's first talk about the definition of full recovery. First of all, the definition of full recovery can only be defined by the individual. Recovery looks different for every single individual. And being in pseudo recovery means if you are in a place where you feel like you still are struggling, despite what quantifiable numbers might say, or what another clinician or insurance who cuts your stay at inpatient or whoever, whatever they say. So despite what they're saying about where you're at in your recovery, it's how you feel about where you're at in recovery. So another way to describe pseudo recovery, and another word I use and my clients use, would say recovered enough. I'm recovered enough. I might be not using X behavior, but I'm still using Y behavior. Or I might be at a place where my body is in a healthier place than it once was, but I'm still restricting my body from being where it wants to be if I had a really good relationship with food and movement. This is also where you feel like your eating disorder might be manageable, but manageable and not being there are very different. And that's the difference between being recovered enough or pseudo recovered to full recovery. And it's important just to talk about this because I want full recovery for every one of you. And full recovery is possible, and that's one of the main messages I want to get out on this channel. But full recovery is also gray and ambiguous and different for everyone, but it's good for you to know that full recovery is something that you define. So a definition that I really like using is Carolyn Costin's definition. Being recovered is when a person can accept his or hers or their natural body size and shape and no longer have a self-destructive relationship with food and exercise. When you are recovered, food and weight take a proper perspective in life, and what you weigh is not more important than who you are. In fact, actual numbers are of little or no importance to you at all. When recovered, you will not compromise your health or betray your soul to look a certain way, wear a certain size, or reach a certain number on the scale. When you are recovered, you do not use eating disorder behaviors or disordered eating behaviors to deal with, distract from, or cope with other problems. That's Carolyn's definition. However, I would really urge you to define what recovery looks like for you. I hope it looks like that and more. Really, full recovery is full freedom from the eating disorder, where you are not still dabbling in some of the behaviors, still distrusting of your body, of your body's size, of your body's shape, of what your body needs and the cues it's giving you, and full trust around food and a self-compassionate, trusting relationship around food and exercise. This is definitely a topic I will continue to chat about, and I invite questions around this topic, and it's something that is near and dear to my heart because as a recovered clinician, I was in pseudo recovery for a while, and that was so confusing and kept me really lost and kept me in my eating disorder for longer than I had to be because, of course, we're recovering in a disordered world. We are being told not to use disordered behaviors to a certain point, right? Because then to a certain point, there's diet culture, there's this distrust we're being told about our body and that we should feel, and this manipulation that we should have over our bodies, and not this compassionate, our body's our friend, our body's a trust, something we should trust. That is not something we're being told. So in this post, I do chat about that. That is something I point to here when I say, we're supposed to recover. We're given messages that we're supposed to recover from our eating disorder, but only to a certain point, and then disordered behaviors are fine, right? So how does that keep us stuck in our eating disorder? It keeps us stuck and confused in so many ways. So here I say, eat freely until you restore weight. Don't worry about your weight. It doesn't matter. For now, all foods fit, but some are morally superior. You need to gain weight. Don't worry, you won't get fat. You should stop shaming yourself about your weight because it's an acceptable one in our society. You can trust your body with this amount of food, but not this amount. You should let go of control, but not all of control. You can trust your body until it comes to weight management and diet culture, then you should trust the diet. Your body is healthy, according to BMI. It's not okay to go under the number of pounds, but also it's not okay to go over this amount of pounds. So we're being told to recover to a point, and then we have to go back to our eating disorder behaviors or disordered eating or manipulating food, and then there's not full trust that's there for us. So this is super confusing, and this keeps us in pseudo recovery. And there's really no place for disordered eating or fat phobia in eating disorder recovery, period. So I kind of bring into a little bit of my story in here in hopes that it would be helpful for you. Over time, my eating disorder changed until I would be classified as being recovered. However, I was not recovered. I was still feeling all the feelings of the eating disorder. I was getting all the thoughts of the eating disorder. I was still very, very untrusting of food and very untrusting of my body, very disrespectful to my body. However, those things that I was engaging in were appropriate and praised in our society. Exercising for punishment, having good foods and bad foods list, staying away from certain foods, trying to lose weight, following different diets, all of those different things that were very much part of my eating disorder that kept me under the same trapped mentality that was very far from this definition of what recovery is. However, I was confused, and I lived in that world of disordered eating and pseudo recovery for years. Pseudo recovery took a lot more time away from me than did my being in my eating disorder. We don't want our eating disorder to take anything away from us. And we sure as hell don't want for our eating disorder to morph and become disordered eating, where we are still experiencing that disordered eating, sucking our experiences and happiness and freedom and straying us away from our value. I believe that disordered eating and eating disorders are all on a spectrum, and they are all something that should be addressed and that you deserve to have addressed and to work through, so you can be totally free of the trap of with the disordered eating body image distress grip on you. So that also means to be free from diet culture and listening and following all of these different diets. It keeps us very much stuck, and you deserve full freedom from that. Just one of the topics that I find really important and something I wanted to answer. So thank you for asking that question. Please let me know if you have any further questions, and I hope this is just a little nugget that you can take away to on your recovery journey to ask yourself, am I where I want to be in recovery? Do I want more? Is this good enough for me? Because if the answer is, this is not good enough for me, I do want more, I still feel stuck, then you deserve to keep going, and there's more out there for you, and you can have full recovery and not a life that's even remotely connected to the eating disorder, and you deserve that. Ask any questions below. Be happy to answer. Okay. Best of luck on your recovery journey. See you all soon.